Hello everyone, it's Maki. What do you think is one of the most important elements of the Gundam series? One of them is the military. It's an organization made up of people who operate the nation's weapons and fight with them. This time, we will explore the world of the Universal Century, focusing on the true nature of the military. Let's analyze what the concept of the weakening of the Federation forces really means. Doing so will enable us to gain a deeper understanding of the story of Hathaway's Flash. We may also discover hidden meanings in scenes that we have previously watched casually. Please be careful! Today, I will be discussing content that includes spoilers for the second Hathaway's Flash film. If you want to watch the story without knowing anything about it in advance, it would probably be better to skip today's program. Please support my channel by subscribing for just 99 cents a month. As a thank you, you will receive a name badge and comment stamps. Now, let's get started. What is the military? First, let's look at its definition in a Japanese dictionary. It is described as an organization that guarantees the security of the nation and its people against external invasion. In summary, this is the role it is described as having. Its main role is to protect the nation and its people, as well as national interests. By possessing military power, it also deters other countries from invading. So, how is it described in the Hathaway's Flash pamphlet? Let's take a look at the Japanese version that I purchased. The military is responsible for the security of the Earth's sphere. That is how it is described. It is safe to say that the role of the military in the Universal Century is similar to its role in the real world. Now, in the Universal Century, the military is often described as having weakened. What does this mean in practice? Is it because powerful weapons are not being developed? Penelope is an extremely powerful mobile suit, but from a global perspective, it is still just one mobile suit. It is certainly true that the Federation Force's combat capability has declined. However, the weakening of the military does not simply mean that it has lost its combat capability. The weakening of the Federation Forces means the loss of their purpose. It means they have lost their reason to exist. As I mentioned earlier, the role of the military is to provide security against external invasion. First and foremost, it is an organization designed to combat external enemies. Even in the real world, a military turning its weapons against its own citizens is considered an abnormal situation that must never happen. Consider the scene in Circe's counterattack where high-ranking Federation government officials are conversing. Believing that the peace negotiations with the Neo Zeon forces led by Charles Neville had succeeded, they say something like this. With this, there is no longer anyone in the Earth's sphere we can call an enemy. If there is one, it would probably have to be real aliens. Of course, they are being deceived by Char, but after this Neo Zeon is defeated, consequently, the situation of there being no external enemies left is realized. Do you remember the purpose of the military? Its purpose is to provide security against external invasion. This government official statement clearly expresses the situation in which the Federation forces have lost their purpose. Some of you may be thinking, even if there are no longer any external enemies, isn't maintaining internal public order still a necessary job? But that responsibility lies with the police. This is why it cannot be entrusted to the military. A government official tells a soldier as much. Even if the military no longer has any work to do, there's plenty of beach cleaning you can do on Earth. The soldier looks displeased at this remark. You may have had this question before. If the military has lost its role, wouldn't it be better to reorganize and rebuild the organization properly and then integrate it with the police? That is completely correct. I agree with that opinion too. However, the Earth's Federation government did not take such measures. In Gaia Gear, a story written by Yoshiyuki Tomino, there is a passage that describes the relationship between people and organizations. In an organization that is far too enormous, people end up becoming personnel who exist only to support the organization. They end up thinking only about preserving and extending the organization's life. This phenomenon has become widespread throughout the world of the universal century. The Earth's Federation forces became such an organization. They focused solely on the organization's survival, turning a blind eye to the need for improvement. Reorganizing the organization and making effective use of it became impossible. This is why the situation became one where a military that had lost its role was almost left alone. In Victory Gundam, it is said that the Earth's Federation forces are an organization that only provides paid vacation. In the novel High Streamer, which is based on Shah's counterattack, Tomino describes the Federation forces as an unemployment relief group. In other words, the Federation forces had become an organization that only conducts training as a formality and pays salaries. The weakening of the Earth's Federation forces is the loss of their role. We can discern this true nature from Tomino's texts. So which scenes should we pay attention to in the second Hathaway's Flash film? Those of you who have listened this far may already have noticed. It's the scene where Henry Yoksan and the Federation forces soldiers talk to each other. Henry is the chief of the Federation government's criminal police organization. He is known by the nickname Manhunter. He asks Kenneslek for cooperation. He wants the military to assist in an operation to crack down on illegal immigrants on Earth. However, this is not the military's role, as it is supposed to be about public order maintenance. If illegal residents are considered external beings who are not citizens, this interpretation may seem somewhat rational. However, when we consider the original purpose for which the organization was founded, it is very unnatural to see soldiers pointing guns at people. Another scene is where Henry talks with the Vice Chief of Staff of the Earth's Federation forces. Henry demands that Bright Noah be summoned to serve in the defense force for the Hathaway conference. This scene may give fans the impression that it is hinting at the appearance of Bright Noah. But in reality, it also presents the idea that the Federation forces are obeying the request of a police organization. In the first film, Hathaway has a scene in which he sheds tears and mutters to himself, "Please teach me how to destroy this incomprehensible structure." This line is directed at the concept of people who end up doing wrong because of exception rules. However, I also think it is possible to interpret this line as being significant in the context of a gigantic military that has lost its role. In the third film, it will be interesting to see how soldiers like Kenneth and Lane react and what they choose to do. Thank you for watching until the end. I'll see you again in the next program.